We have finally made it to the end of the Impossible quilt. It has been so much fun to finish. If you'll recall, this was a quilt that my soon-to-be 8-year-old son requested for his birthday, and it had to have dragons, dinosaurs, snails, and apes. Hence why I called it the Impossible quilt, because at first I thought it would be impossible to incorporate all of those elements, but it actually turned out really cute. Now, this is the third and final part for this series, but remember that all of the techniques that I've shown you in these videos can be applied toward making a quilt of any theme or design that you would wish. So day 6 started out just finalizing all of the applique pieces onto the quilt top and making sure that everything was completely secured down. Once that was done, I started working on hand embroidering kind of finer details, so like all the little features on the apes, as well as some of the features on the larger snails, like their antenna and the little swirls making up their shells. On day 7, I decided to add a 6-inch border to either long side of the quilt to make it wide enough for a twin size. And I also added a banner to the upper right corner of the quilt with my son's name in kind of an old English lettering style, since the whole point of this quilt was the apes trying to get back to their treehouse castle just beyond the dragon. So it kind of had that more fairy tale-esque theme, and I thought that lettering style would fit perfectly. At the start of day 9, I spent a couple of hours using almost every basting pin that I own to base this thing together. For the quilting, I wanted a really just kind of flowy, kind of whimsical feel, so I started off by free motion quilting, kind of echoing around the dragon. And I also free motion quilted in some of the smaller areas to fill them in and just make sure that everything was secured down really well. Then I switched over to just some line work with my walking foot. I didn't really care about doing super straight lines. I just wanted everything to have a whimsical feel, so I kind of did some wavier vertical lines to fill in some of the bigger areas of the quilt. And here it is, completely finished. I am so excited about how this turned out. We used some dragon fabric and even some snail fabric on the castle so that we could further incorporate some of those elements that my son requested. I really hope he loves it for his birthday. This is a twin size, so like I've been saying in other videos, you can totally quilt larger quilts on your domestic sewing machine. You just have to wrestle it a little bit more, but it turns out great in the end. Be sure to follow me for more quilting tips, tricks, and project ideas.